Cheryl.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
How have you been?
That's a loaded question.
I like to start with the loaded ones.
No, I've been okay. I'm here. I am alive and I am well. I am taking my whole life one day at a time. With my sobriety and also with my divorce. You are who you're raised by unless you consciously untrain your brain. And, unfortunately, I've gone through trauma. I got sexually molested when I was a little girl. I have a wonderful mother. My father passed away a few years ago, but they divorced when I was really young. And my stepdad, who plays the role as my father, definitely stepped in. But still, there was no clear father figure, right, in my life. And I then, for me, love equaled abuse. Love equaled avoidant, being that avoidant person where I became very anxious. Always, I related that to love. And I didn't understand or I couldn't accept nice people that would come around in my life, right? Nice dance partners when I competed. Nice men in general was a turnoff to me. So it's not just this divorce, right? Like I have to really be present and mindful with what I'm doing as far as, okay, how do I retrain that part of my brain? If someone is loud and they're yelling, I do tend to get sensitive to people,
Sure.
Loud talkers. That doesn't mean that is abusive.
Yeah.
Right? And doesn't mean, depending on what the context is, what that person's yelling about, it may not even be directed at me. It may just be his way of expressing his emotion. And so I have to learn, I'm very reactive. So instead of reacting, I have to respond, which means don't interrupt, means like really sit with your feelings and allow your feelings to happen. Like all of this stuff is so new to me, to feel your feelings. Like I'm a professional number. Right? I've numbed my whole life. I think that's the reason why I didn't check into the nearest mental institution, honestly, from the day I got molested and all of that happened. Great things happened in between. I'm not just talking about the negative stuff here, but like, since we're on this subject, it's a different way of thinking for me that I wish they would teach at school, in schools and stuff like that, because this is all new.
Thank you for sharing all that.
I dry hump people for a living. That's what I do. I ballroom dance.
She means dancing.
Yeah. I'm a ballroom dancer and I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Let's rumba, right? Constantly. And I am pretty sure that some of my exes, including my ex-husband, probably don't necessarily feel that so like comfortable if they were really to like sit down and imagine it.
Not their favorite thing.
No. Probably like a 9 to 5 would be like less stressful. But I do make it a habit to say it as it is, whether that my partner's hitting on me, whether my partner is maybe gay or no worries, you got nothing to worry about. Or like, it's so important to not wait to have these conversations because you put yourself, and I hate this, but like, I don't necessarily like to compare, like put yourself in that person's shoes because no matter what, that's never going to happen, right? Like everybody's their own individual. But if he was on set, he, was an actor or is an actor, I would expect the same treatment back. Like, I don't need to get to that point of jealousy or to where we're hiding stuff from each other.
Dancing with the Stars, do you have any tea?
Speaking of.
Transition.
What a great one.
Hard pivot.
Such a great one.
It's now streaming.
Yes. Disney Plus.
I don't know if you can talk about whether you're going to be on it or not, but what are your thoughts in general about the show's transitioning from ABC to Disney Plus? And is that a experience that you'd be interested in being a part of? How do you think it can be different or will be different?
Yeah.
General thoughts.
What do we think about Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis? That story has kind of resurfaced.
No, nothing.
Okay, so for a little bit of background, so Olivia Wilde was speaking at Cinecon, which is an event that was attended by industry executives. So very much like, in addition to a public appearance, it's a very like professional appearance for her, and was served
big deal.
on stage in the front of everyone, was served documents.
Wait, what?
Like child custody.
No, I hear you,
Yeah.
but that's why they couldn't wait till she was off
Exactly.
stage.
So now she's recently made a statement.
Jason Sudeikis' team.
Wait, why would he want that for her?
I don't know, but
And
the
she's
verdict,
quoted,
no Ted Lasso.
when you look at a photo of a couple, you can draw a green line. Like, it doesn't actually
Body
need to be
language.
green. It's just catchier that way.
Yeah, it's just body
exactly.
language.
And so what it is it's saying, like, when you draw from like the kind of their
100%.
center, if you notice that he seems to
When
be
it's
really
a little-
But
fixated.
who's leaning is
Yeah.
basically the question.
And it's kind
But,
of
like,
like a
Body
power
language says a
thing.
lot. I'm
Sure.
actually coming out with a dance program, not to toot my own horn or promote anything that's not even out yet,
Promote.
but called Body Language, because there's, movement through therapy, but you can also just read people's body language that we sometimes take for granted. So I do kind of believe what he's saying. The person leaning closer is the one that is more into that person, but versus the other. Or
So I guess the big question is like, if you take any one photo, it's like casting a judgment by watching like an episode of The Bachelor and being like, well, that person's a
what
prick.
if that person tripped and was leaning towards the girl?
Or you had a moment where you're like, why don't you ever show me love? And then the person was like, oh, and they took a picture.
You do, though. I think maybe you need more than one.
But if you see like 10 photos of a similar body language, I think you can
agree.
You can make some judgments.
I agree. And then especially 10 different times and moments, right?
And the innovator, whose name is Jack Mack, said
Is that a stage name? I'm kidding.
It's like, I hope that's not his God-given
I mean, it
name,
could be.
but
That's amazing.
who's to say? Said that he could have predicted the Kim Kardashian-Pete Davidson split because of the green line test, because
Who was
Pete
more into
is
Kim?
continually leaning in.
Oh,
and
I would think it'd be the other way.
I mean, like, no offense to Mac, but like, I feel like a lot of people
But
predicted
also,
that.
Pete was so much taller than Kim. You know what I mean? Like, there's other aspects.
Oh, you're right.
There's
Duh.
definitely holes.
Like he was,
Kim's
of course
tiny.
he's leaning
Yeah.
down towards her.
Yeah.
Yeah.